Welcome back to Underdog Circle Podcast, brought to you by Fan Six Pack. I am your ready to talk baseball host, Nick Z, with my very good friend, Mr. Jason Beckner. Jason, how are you on this fine day?
Doing great, Nick. It's been about 4 days of no baseball, and I'm Jones, and I'm ready to get back into the swing of things. It's weird not setting a lineup for like 3-4 days on a daily league. It's like when you're in the midst of it, you're like, oh man, this is troublesome having to set all these lineups. And now that it's 4 days off, you're like, I need to do something with my mornings.
Exactly that. Yeah. All right. So before we get started, it's going to be the cold open question week. Mr. Jason, here we go. I want you to tell me, if you are the Seattle Mariners, what pitcher are you trading this trade deadline season so you can make a spot for Kade Anderson? All right. 3, 2, 1, go. All right, Jason, what do we got?
Yeah, this is a good question because obviously the easiest answer is Luis Castillo, the aging veteran. But when you look at the rest of that staff, it's just like tons of wealth in young pitching. All of them are kind of that same guy. But if I am the Mariners, I'm trying to flip one of these guys, these young controllable arms, for assets, right? So it's like you're not going to get much for Luis Castillo, let's be honest, right? Like maybe a dart throw prospect, possibly. Or maybe if you eat some of the money, you get like a team's like second tier prospect. So I'm going to go with someone that's more, worth more as far as trade value. I think I would go with George Kirby. I think he would be the odd man out for me. Still has a ton of value, but I think you can probably get more for him for obviously Luis Castillo, which then, I mean, obviously the preface of this question is when does Kade Anderson make his debut, and is he your league winner?
Exactly. I was surprised to see that AL West is tight, but not in a good way.
Yeah.
As in, we've got teams that are hovering around 500 with the Rangers. The Rangers are currently at first with 49 wins. Mariners, game and a half back. Then we got the Astros. And then you have the A's. And it's crazy to think that the last place Angels, only 11 and a half out, could still, in theory, make their way up there for a playoff spot. So, yeah, I'm looking at this Mariners lineup and in general, it's really not great. Like currently you've got, this is just on like Roto Champ's projected lineup. You got Buddy Kennedy, Weston Wilson, Victor Robles. Like that's not good.
Yeah.
And that's not counting like JP Crawford, who isn't like a world beater. Cal Raleigh, really not doing much. So yeah, I'm kind of with you here. And I differ with Kirby, and I'm going Bryce Miller, mostly just because he's kind of in the midst of a breakout somewhat. But I just don't trust him. I trust Kirby more. I trust Gilbert more. I don't. The point of trading Luis Castillo is you would probably have to attach a prospect to even get something remotely helpful. And I think the Mariners kind of just need to address their team, like their everyday ball club. So I think Miller might be able to fetch you the most to maybe plug in at third base, at second base, and something like that. But yeah, just to cut to the chase, Kade Anderson, if he is available in any of your redraft leagues, pick him up now. This past week, we actually got the report that it looks like they're going to try and make a deal from this pitching depth to try and get a spot for Kade Anderson. And I don't honestly. I think he's surpassed Chase Burns when it comes to that hype of a pitching prospect. And right now, it's the Skeens hype, and then I honestly think that Cade might be creeping up to the Skeens hype because it's been something that's truly been crazy what he's doing in Double A.
Yeah, and it's kind of interesting to see what they're gonna do, right? Because he's at 72 innings pitched already this year, so I think they've seen enough what they want in the minors, and if they're gonna waste innings, it might as well be for a meaningful playoff push here at the end versus down in Double A, which is doing nothing for them. But I like I said, he's definitely going to at some point make his debut, and like they need to, because it's not just their major league roster that's filled with pitchers too, right? They also have Ryan Sloan, who's like their number one draft pick from 2 years ago, who's like been on fire as well and a rising prospect himself. So they're chalked deep with pitching prospects. So yeah, they're definitely going to trade him. And if he's available in any redraft league, you absolutely need to pick him up and stash him for at least the next. Because the worst comes worst, he comes up in September. So he's like about maybe like a month away at the latest. He'd be coming up. I think he'll be coming up. I'd say in the next week or two.
Yeah. When is the deadline?
I believe it's July 31st. No.
Is it that? I know that I feel like there was a time. Yeah,
they did move it.
It's August 3rd.
Okay. So a couple days.
So yeah, in the next week or two.
So you have like 2.5 weeks trade deadline. So yeah, once the trade is made for Luis Castillo or any of their pitching staff for that matter, Kade Anderson will be called up that very next day or the same day. He's just chomping at the bit. There's nothing left to prove, right? Dominated LSU, dominating Double A. He is very much ready to make his major league debut. So absolutely grab him in any redraft leagues, even shallow ones. If you got, I'm sure most shallow leagues have a pretty deep bench. If you're in a shallow league with a deep bench, absolutely grab Kade Anderson now while you can. Obviously, there's some leagues that don't allow you to add any minor leaguers, but if he's available and you're able to grab him, absolutely. Obviously, he's not available in any I can't imagine he's available in any dynasty league. He's a number one pitching prospect, but you never know. But he can be every bit of a league winner coming up this year and down the stretch here for you. Exactly, yeah. All right, let's jump over to another guy that could possibly be to me, opinion is a buy. It could be a league winner here. And that's you could have taken a stab at any one of these rocky young outfielders. I love Cole Carrig. I love what he's doing right now. But I gotta focus in on my boy Jake McCarthy here, who since getting out of Arizona is proving that he actually can play. And I mean, some of the obviously some of the success is coming from Colorado, but his home road splits are really great too. But he's currently slashing 301, 347. He's slugging 516. He's already got 10 home runs, which is already a career best. A 121 WRC plus, which is currently his career best. And it also ranks top 50 in the league and top 20 in all the outfielders. He's had a guy like Bellinger, Julio Rodriguez, Ian Happ. Doesn't strike out a lot. His zone contact he has a zone contact of 86%, which is above league average. The exit velo slightly up. The barrel rate's up. I mean, he's had an inside the park home run, which is always fun.
Leadoff.
Yeah. He just seems like the type of guy that's like new. Like he is a Colorado Rockies outfielder, right? Like he will only probably have success in Colorado. As long as he's in Colorado, I would be grabbing him off of any waiver wire if he's available in any leagues. I know that he was a huge waiver wire target the last few weeks, just because, like I said, he's been popping off and going crazy since getting consistent playing time with Colorado. But yeah, there's a bunch of guys, right? Like Karros has been awesome. Carrig has been awesome. Jake McCarthy's been awesome. The Rockies have been low-key fun. Like, did they just – no, they didn't – did they get swept by the Dodgers right before they all – those games with the Dodgers were –
they were all good
fun.
games. I think they lost them all, but they were all, like, barn burners.
Yeah, so, like, they're proving that they can score runs. Jake McCarthy leading them off has been a huge movement for them, so – I'm all in on Jake McCarthy. I own him in several redraft leagues. I wish I still had him in some dynasty leagues. I don't. I believe he was like I mean, talk about a fall from grace. He was like, was it last year or 2 years ago where everyone was like, he had like
Yeah.
30 stolen bases or something, and he was like an
He's
awesome
still only
contributor.
28. Like,
Yeah.
that's crazy.
Yeah. So good power speed combo. Now he's hitting for a good average and slugging with the best of them. So definitely get in on the Jake McCarthy while you can.
Yeah.
I
I
think he
do
may have already passed.
worry about the like Brenton Doyle effect because we
Yeah.
do see this happen a lot of
Yeah.
just like these Rockies having a great year. And then next year they're just like, all right, I'm going to suck.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see because like Hunter Goodman's been insane too. Like he has like I think like 30 home runs almost or something.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's 2 year 2024. He had 25 stolen bases, 8 home runs, OBP of 347. So he's kind of more in the line to 2024. I think last year there was a lot of injuries and playing time concerns with him. With I'm talking about McCarthy here. But yeah, I'm just pulling up the home road splits real quick. And yeah, I mean, they're pretty much even. He's got 7 home runs at home and 3 on the road. So the batting average is basically similar home and road splits. So he's not just taking advantage of Coors. He's actually playing really good baseball this year. So look out for Jake McCarthy for a possible league winner going forward. And I'm curious to see what his second half looks like.
Yeah.
Let's get into some other guys that are, young and blossoming and could be some league winners. Let's talk about Jake Bennett of your Boston Red Sox.
This is one of the most happy, like, it's currently a great time to be a Red Sox fan. I believe they won 9 straight going into the All-Star break. Terrible time for an All-Star break, but
Yeah.
the vibes are good, and we're getting by with pitching and defense, which was the plan all along. It just kind of took a while. But so Jake Bennett came from the Nats, and we traded. What was his fucking name? Jake Bennett, right? Like a high. I don't want to say high end. Luis Perales. That's who it was. And it was like, why are we trading our like number 2 pitching prospect for like the Nationals, like 10th? And the reason was, which was my buzzword in the off season, was extension. This guy has elite extension, and that seems to be what the Red Sox are looking for. And he has completely over-delivered and has basically solidified himself as a pitcher for this team for like the next championship team. He's not going to be their ace. He doesn't need to be. There's Peyton Tole for that. He doesn't need to be a 2. No, we got Connolly early. That's fine. He fits into that 3-4-5 blend, and it's fantastic. So he's started 8 games. He's 4-3, ERA under 3, 35 strikeouts. His expected ERA also under 3. His expected batting average against under 230. Just like a very good pitcher, and it just all seems to be working for him currently. Not like a gigantic strikeout guy, but like that's fine. His ground ball percentage is 89th percentile. So definitely just a good. He has how many pitches? He has 6 pitches. A 6-pitch mix for your like number 4 or 5 starter, and they're all like good is great. So I'm actually seeing him pitch tomorrow. I'll be boots on the ground for a Jake Bennett start.
Nice.
But yeah, he's someone that could be on your waiver wire, honestly, just because he's pretty not forgotten about, but like it's the Red Sox and like he's not this highly touted prospect. I think going into this year, he was like their 8th best prospect or something.
Yeah, he's one of those guys where like I was hesitant about it first because it's like I think we talked in our group chat offline a few months ago when we were trying to figure out, who was getting called up for the Red Sox, and then it was Jake Bennett, and we're like, oh, Jake Bennett, all right. So then it's like a little bit of a letdown, and then like his first few starts have been really awesome, and I've actually added him and starting him with confidence in several leagues, and that says a lot. Like you said, he doesn't have the greatest velocity, but he does a good job of mixing pitches. Most likely, he does a lot of like, he sets up the hitters with the fastball and the sinker, and then he puts them away with the changeup. So changing speeds well, going up in the zone with the high heat and down with the changeup. The success has been there, even for a slow, not slow. I shouldn't say slow, but I guess when your average velo is 94, and that's
Yes.
slow nowadays. But yeah, just an average fastball. But the changeup is elite, and it's been getting guys out at a high rate. And like I said, I've been starting him with confidence.
Yeah.
And
Yeah. You
many,
actually texted Bob and I, and you said
yeah.
Jake Bennett. Eh?
Oh, I picked
And
him
we were
up.
like, yeah, man.
I picked him up off the waiver because I was like, I wanted him back. I liked what I saw from him. So I'm like, how much fab is? I was ready to drop probably like 20% of my budget on him the other day because I think he pitched on, was it Sunday night?
Yeah.
And he pitched really well. So I'm like, I bet you people are going to be dropping bags on him. And I got him thanks to Bob. I toned my bid back by like at least 50%, and I outbid the guy by like $2. So it was awesome. And I'm starting him with confidence. And that's TGFBI. So even in deep leagues, he was available. So get out there on your waivers and see. He could definitely be one of those guys that could be a league winner. Red Sox are hot. Wins are going to be available. Quality starts are definitely going to be available for him. So grab Jake Bennett if he's out there for sure. I have at least a couple leagues. Let's talk about another outfielder on the West Coast and another Seattle Mariner. Someone that I feel like just doesn't get a lot of hype. And again, I think we talk about that with a lot of those West Coast guys, and specifically in Seattle. Guys, some of these teams that just like don't get a lot of hype. That's Randy Arozarena, who we've known and been on our radar for a while. And he's kind of been middling. And he's kind of amongst, you would think that he's in like a midst of like another middling season, but he's actually been really quietly good. Slashing 286, 380, slugging 458. He's got 11 home runs, 19 stolen bases. He's got a 144 WRC plus, which ranks him fifth of all outfielders and top 15 amongst all hitters. He's got a 21 offensive WAR via Fangraphs, which ranks top 5 among all outfielders. And the speed has always been there for him, right? That's one of the things, the power speed combo with him. And it's continuing again this year. He's got 19 stolen bases, which is top 5 among all outfielders, and ranks behind only PCA, Tatis, and Chandler Simpson. So he's right up there at the top of the league in stolen bases for that position. The whiff rate is down. He's currently on pace to be his career best at the whiff rate. The K rate is also way down as well. Ranks top 30 in all outfielders. So just one of those guys that's like doesn't get a ton of like love on paper, but the counting stats are there, and he's having a really great season for an outfielder. Right now, he's ranking as the top, OF1 basically. So I think he could, depending on how the Seattle offense goes. I know we're having a little bit of a down year in Seattle's offense, but still, the counting stats and the expected stats are all really good for Arozarena, and he's definitely could be somebody that's worth grabbing in a trade for sure. Because he's always had the power speed, and it's kind of happening again this year. So kind of continuing on that pace that he's been down, and I feel like he's quietly been putting up good numbers.
Yeah. It's funny because he is in Seattle. I don't really see a lot of like Randy Arozarena highlights. But I was surprised today. He actually just got traded in one of my leagues for Joe Adell and Shada Imanaga. And I was like, that seems like a lot for Randy Arozarena. But then I looked and I was like, oh, he's having a good year. So yeah, I don't.
And those two guys that you mentioned have been having a little bit of a down year. So it's like, That's definitely a good win. Sell high on some of those guys that are like Imanaga, right? He's been decent, but he gives up a ton of home runs. I think he leads the league in home runs per 9 innings. Yeah, that's I think that's a great deal for the guy getting the Arozarena.
Yeah, he seems to just kind of be a guy that's just gonna be good, like I don't want to say Christian Yelich, but like kind of like Christian Yelich. Just like gonna always probably get you 20 to 25 homers a year, hit for average, hit for a high OBP, and just kind of be that steady Eddie. And you know me, I love me a steady Eddie.
Yeah, that the biggest thing to me has been his approach to the plate this year, right? Like the power and speed numbers are on pace of what he's been doing, but the batting average is way up, the OBP is way up. So the K rate's down, the whiff rate's down. So I think he's just having a little bit more better approach to the plate, which has obviously been giving him better counting stats as well. So again, nothing that's going to jump off the page. You can be like, this guy is going to, be an MVP candidate. But if you're looking for maybe a possible, someone that's like, I feel like the Arozarena owner may not know exactly what he has. Like he probably
Yes.
see like, oh, he 1 for 4 with a run and a stolen base, but like you can get him for pretty cheap, I think, at this point. Real quick before we get into some more of these trending topics, let's talk about a guy that I feel like I don't say I'm a league winner, but Luis Lara seems to be like, if it's one thing that we know about the Brewers, right? They trade for broken pitching and fix it, and they sign these J15 signees, and then all of a sudden, well, that guy's 17, who cares about him? And then 5-6 years later, and then all of a sudden he's like a stud, and that next guy is going to be Luis Lara. Got called up right for the All-Star break. He started in 4 or 6 games. He got 9 plate appearances, had a 9% contact rate. Still 21 years old. But again, one of those guys, like I said, if I'm going to trust a team that's going to grab a J15 signee and turn him into gold, it's the Brewers, right? Jesus Mate, Jackson Churio. I mean, I can keep going on and on and on. They just continue to turn. I'm not saying this guy is Jackson Churio, but he has the speed. The speed has also been legit. The power, not so much, but the approach to the plate has been awesome. Doesn't strike out a lot. He walks a lot. Really good approach to the plate. And could obviously that offense and that team is great. They're going to put up runs. Power numbers, that's something the Brewers don't do. They don't slug. I think they lead the league in most runs scored not via the home run. So this is right along their prototype. Get on base, get hits, score runs, steal bases. Luis Lara could end up being a very nice contributor for you going down the stretch here. If he stays around. I don't know. There's no guarantee he gets playing time. I think he will. I think he'll prove that he does. I mean, we're talking about beating out guys like Garrett Mitchell,
He's already playing. I mean, it's been 14 at bats, but like he belongs clearly. He is only 5'7" though.
Yeah. We are a little bit of a height. I don't know what the word is. I don't want to.
We have bias towards people
bias.
That are
we
tall.
have height bias. We have height biasm on this podcast, which rightfully so. But hey, you never know. He could end up being, like I said, he's definitely on your waiver wire, I'm sure. Also, real quick before we get into some of these other topics, thoughts on grabbing. It was a down week, right? We had but waiver still ran Sunday night. I was able to grab and stash Garrett Crochet for $1 off the Fab. I feel like it has to be worth in a deep league, 15-team league. I'm like, this is the perfect time. Someone dropped them. Obviously, they were sick of holding them. I'm like, man, I guarantee no one's going to be looking at waiver wires on Sunday night of All-Star break. Sure enough, I snagged him for like $1. And now I'm just going to stash him, and hopefully he comes back and helps me down the stretch. Not anything quickly, but maybe like middle of August.
Yeah.
Like that.
I mean, especially if the Red Sox can continue to win. I love Garrett Crochet. It stinks that he got hurt so early.
Yeah.
But our friend of the show, Bob Osgood, we had a conversation. I was like, just don't bring him back. But he brought up the point of you got to keep the arm like moving. And like you might as well do that in a game than like on the backfield somewhere. And that the only way to kind of build up, because like his big knock is the arm, not arm strength, like the amount, he's never really fully pitched a season until last year.
Right.
And then you have this injury pop up. So the only way to kind of avoid these injuries because of arm use is continuing to use it. So yeah, I would say I would definitely hold on to him. If things continue to improve here in Boston, I do think we see him back in August. That's like maybe late August, but like that's when you need him.
Yeah, I mean, think about running on Garrett Crochet for the last month and a half season in a Roto League. Talk about a boost to your strikeouts and possibly some wins and strikeouts and wins and possibly some ratio help as well too. So
yeah,
I felt like it was worth the gamble at $1 in a week
that
nobody's paying attention. Let's get into some trending topics here. We got to talk about the season that James Wood's putting up right now. As someone that, again, don't get me wrong, people know of James Wood. You have to believe he was like, his ADP was probably first round, maybe early second, but he is on pace for an insane season. I was trying to look up the last time somebody had some of these stats, but he has 89 runs scored for the All-Star break, and that's only in 454 plate appearances, which is basically on pace to shatter the modern-day record. I believe the modern-day record is Ronald Acuna with 147, and that was in 2023. Ohtani had a 146, I believe, last year. He's on pace to shatter that. He also has 28 home runs, which is only 3 behind his career high. Again, it's only a 3-year sample size, but still, 28 home runs at the All-Star break. 15 stolen bases, which already tied a career high for him. So basically, he's on pace for what's that, like 100 and we'll call it, because it's not quite halfway right now. I think it's a little over halfway. So he's on pace for 170 runs.
Yeah.
30, basically, we'll call it 50 home runs and 30 stolen bases, all while also hitting for a high average, which is kind of alarming because he also, I believe, leads the league in strikeouts. But yeah, he's batting 280 with an on base of 410. Yeah, he's just insane going off this year. And I feel like it'd be remiss if we didn't talk about James Wood and talk about where he's come in the last 3 years. We knew the power was there. We knew the speed was there. But it's taken him to a whole nother level. That national team leads the league in obviously run score with it, and he's leading the league with 89 home runs. I looked it up the other day. Let me get it real quick. I don't think anyone's even close to him at 89 runs. His 89 runs, the next closest is Brian Reynolds with 68. So he has 21 more runs scored than the guy in second place. Just on an unfathomable pace right now. It's crazy what he's doing.
If you're in a startup, Jason, what pick do you pick him?
That's a really good question, actually.
I'm saying top 5.
Yeah. This is only his 3rd year in the major league level. He's still only
I'm picking him over Ohtani.
He's only 23 years old
right now. So it's like Kurtz, Witt.
And I think I have Wood above Kurtz at this point in startup league.
Yeah.
Because they're both, again, Wood is only 23. I think Nick Kurtz is like that same age, right? Yeah, both 23. I think with the combination of the power and speed that Wood brings versus Kurtz only has the power, Wood might be he's definitely top 3. What do you got? Like Bobby Witt,
Skeens,
and like Wood maybe.
Then Caminero, but he's kind of like Kurtz.
Yeah,
he's kind of a one-trick pony.
Right, doesn't have the power. He has the power, doesn't have the speed.
Carroll is still only 25.
That's crazy. I think I'd rather have Wood over Carroll.
Yeah, I'd probably say it's top 3.
Yeah, that's a really good question.
Honestly, you could probably argue Skeens could go 1 depending on what you're trying to build. So Skeens, Witt, then probably Wood. Maybe Soto's still pretty young. He's 27.
Yeah, Soto's weird to me because everyone's knocking him right. He's having a down year, but he's still quietly.
He's still elite.
He's still he has over 400 OBP. I mean, that's the power numbers aren't there, but that's just because the Mets have just been kind of down. But yeah, even if you look at Woods, it's not a fluke either. All the expected stats, the xWOBA of 437 ranks is top 1% of the league. 100th percentile in X slugging, exit velo, barrel rate, hard hit rate, all 100% percentile of the league. He's just having an insanely great year. And I don't really get there's just not a lot of talk around it. It's crazy to me. I feel like, he doesn't have that superstar status yet, which is crazy in his 3rd year, and he's basically putting up MVP numbers.
Yeah.
He was an all-star this year, but still.
No, I do agree. I think just all of what Washington's doing right now, Abrams has been fantastic.
Yeah.
It's just those two versus everyone else, and they try and win 15-14, and they have 6 RBI each.
Yeah. It helps that you're leading off for the number 1 scoring team in the league to get 89 runs scored, but still, if you look up and down that roster, they're not there's world beaters on that team driving in all these runs. It's crazy that they're having the season that they're having. getting contributions from Luis Garcia Jr., Curtis Mead, Jacob Young, and also not to be remiss either. Nasim Nunez has 33 stolen bases. He's on pace to get 50. Who was like a Rule 5 pick just 2 years ago and was like just like a guy, you know what I mean? Now he's like gonna lead the league in stolen bases. But yeah, as someone that owns Wood in a couple leagues, I'm ecstatic about the season he's having, and I'm sure the Padres are kicking themselves in the ass for trading for Soto. We talked about it earlier. C.J. Abrams, James Wood. We were trying to debate if it was Gore too, which I believe it was. Let me see if I can pull it up here real quick.
Abrams, Gore, Wood, Robert Hassel, who just got DFA'd actually.
Yeah.
Jarlin Susana, and
who's a decent
Luke Voigt
relief pitcher. Nice. Was that for a year and a half of? That was a year and a half of Soto, right? It had to be because it was like an insane. Yeah.
Yeah, these packages are weird. So Padres to Yankees was Grisham and Soto. For Michael King, Johnny Brito, Randy Vasquez, friend of the show.
Yeah.
By that, I mean a guy I've talked about. And Drew Thorpe.
Yeah.
Poor Padres. They really got screwed.
Maybe that'll teach Preller, man, to wise up and stop trading all his prospects away for major league talent. This obviously backfired in his face. That deal did because nothing came of Soto's time in San Diego. I mean, maybe a playoff appearance, but that's about it. At least Nationals. Look, dude, Nationals got a championship and all these players out of Soto.
Yeah.
Soto brought him a championship and then got traded away for 3 guys, basically 4 that are studs. Also, before we got out of here, Nick, we did a collab show with 2 guys run Roto. They're on the same network as us, the Fantasy Spec Network. Super fun time. We did a 1-round fantasy FYPD mock draft up from the draft that just happened. The MLB draft just happened on Saturday and Sunday. We went ahead and dropped a 1-round mock draft. And we also did in that episode, I'll link it below in the description. Check that out. It was the 4 of us. We each picked, in non-snaking order the first round, which is always fun this early in the season, right? There's not a lot of everyone gets their guy. Not to make any no teasers on who went 1-1, but baseball is awesome with drafting. It's always subjective. We also did a couple of deep cuts, guys that we liked outside of like the top 12 picks. Some deep cuts for you. So go check that out. Like I said, I'll leave a link in the description. Super fun time with Dave and Rick. And then I know we had Dave on last week before that too. So a little bit of joint efforts here on the Fantasy Six Pack Show and the Dynasty guys. But yeah, I don't know about you, but that FYPD was super fun.
Yeah, I love FYPDs, man.
I know.
They're so much better than the actual draft.
Yeah.
They I don't know how they can fix it, but they got to fix it.
Yeah, the problem. I know the biggest problem with the MLB draft is there's not an immediate impact, right? Like NBA and NFL.
Yeah.
You'll see those guys make a contribution in the next year. Where baseball, if you're lucky, there's maybe one guy that gets debuted this year and then maybe 1 or 2 next year. That's about it. But otherwise, these guys get drafted, you don't hear about them for 3-4 years. It's like, oh. So that's why I feel like that's the biggest reason there's no hype around the MLB draft.
Yes, exactly.
Which I did hear some random rumors of they want to change it with this new CBA. They want to make it like the NBA where you have to go to college at least a year or not be right out of high school.
I saw that. I wouldn't mind that, honestly. Just to
it would also help grow the NCAA game as well, right? Like
especially with NIL now, like they'll be and like honestly, man, I would rather be a star shortstop for the Texas Longhorns than the shortstop for the Worcester Red Sox.
Or like the Chattanooga Lookouts. But the
Yeah,
crazy thing is
no.
like you're gonna grow NCAA, but then you're gonna kind of kill these low A and high A teams. You know what I mean? So that's
Yes.
something to think about too. I don't know, man. The CBA is in a crazy situation right now. I don't know what's gonna happen, but we'll see. But yeah, check out that FYPD, and we'll be back next week, Nick. And then back to setting our lineups every day.
Can't wait.
See ya.
Peace.